Hey Vintage Kids! It's Miss Libby here. If you haven't had me as your teacher before, I go to Vintage Church downtown and I'm here at my home. I'm sure a lot of you guys are in your house too, and even while it can be great to be at home, I know I'm definitely missing spending time with you guys in the classroom, in the Vintage Kids classroom, and just, learning about Jesus and doing crafts and playing games. So I thought I would join with you guys today. So, for our lesson today, over the next few weeks, we are going to continue to see how God's kingdom comes to life through parables. So, Jesus told parables or stories that taught people lessons in the Bible. It will be our job to listen to the parables and to figure out what is Jesus teaching us about his kingdom here. So, let's dive into this week's parable. Really quick though, as a review, we're going to look at last week's parable. I don't know if anybody remembers. Last week we learned about the parable of the weeds, that God's kingdom is like a man planting good seed in a field, meaning that we should all be planting seeds by doing things to show others the kingdom. We're going to open up our Bible. I have my Bible right here in front of me. I don't know if any of you have a Bible that you can grab, or I'm also going to look at on my screen here to read it out to you guys. But we're going to open up to Matthew 13, 31, and 32. This is the parable of the mustard seed. He put another parable before them, saying, "The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed that a man took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it has grown, it is larger than all of the garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches." So we're going to discuss this a little bit. What is this kingdom being compared to? God's kingdom is like a mustard seed, meaning that when it starts out, it is so small. It's so tiny, right? But it grows to be much greater than we would ever expect to come from that little seed. So let's think about what we can learn about the kingdom of heaven by being compared to a mustard seed. Do you know how big a mustard seed is? Like I just said, it's about like this big. It's pretty tiny. It's pretty tiny. Can everyone, if you're able, get as tiny as you can. Maybe put your hands on your head and curl up. So small. And then it grows and grows and grows, and extend your arms upward and become a tree. It becomes this large tree. And as it says in Matthew 13, it says it becomes bigger than so many of the other plants and trees in the garden. From this tiny little seed, we see it become so much bigger than everything else. That's crazy, right? Would you ever look at a seed that was maybe this big and expect it to become the biggest tree that's around? Maybe not. So what did this mustard seed do? It grew, right? And so what do we know about trees? They're big and they're tall. So what does this teach us about the kingdom? It starts small and it grows big. So let's be mustard seeds again. We start really small, and then we grow really big. And so we can know that God's kingdom, while it may start really small, with time, it grows very large. And that is how we can participate in growing the kingdom of God, is having faith that even if it looks small at one time, we know that it will be very large one day. So thank you guys for coming and being part of church today. I know it does look a little bit different, and I know it's not quite the same as being together at church together in the classroom, but thank you for listening, and I really hope I get to see you guys soon, okay? I'll see you later.